Okay, we're going to walk through how to edit our intro video. So there's several key things that we're going to go over today. As of right now, by the time you're watching this video, you should be set up about like we are right now. You should have all your files that you need already in your bin. And so just breaking up your screen here, this is the bin where you keep your files. This is the timeline where you do your editing. This is the preview of what the edit looks like so far. And then this is where you have a preview of um, pieces that are um, in your bin. So for instance, if I double click on this, the video shows up there and I can see it here. So I can edit pieces from here to put into the video. But so what I mean by that is like I can take sections I want and remove things I don't want, and I can do that very simply by using the I and the O button on my keyboard. So like let's say there's stuff at the beginning, maybe there's some bloopers or stuff when they were getting ready at the beginning, and I don't want that. Well, if I push I, you can see how it highlights there to the end. And let's see, maybe at the end too, maybe I didn't turn off the recording and there's some extra stuff on there at the end that I don't want. Well, I can go to that end part and hit O for out, I for in, O for out. And then this will leave me with just that portion right there. Then I can click and drag and drop. And then what I have here on my timeline is only that portion. Now, I don't have to do it that way. I'm going to right click on here and click on clear in and out. I can also do my editing on the timeline itself. So I can take that video clip, I can drag and drop the whole thing in here, and then I can make my edits over here using these tools right here. So one of them is the razor tool. And with the razor tool, I can make cuts in areas where where I want things. So again, let's say I'm trying to get rid of a little bit of the beginning and a little bit of the end. So let's say my interview really starts at this point. And to play, I can click up here to move to different portions. And then to actually play it, I hit spacebar on my keyboard, and that will start playing what's on the timeline. But you'll see that I made a cut right there. You can see a line going right there. And then let's say I also want to chop off what's at the end over here. So I click there and make a cut. Now I'm going to switch to my selection tool, click on this beginning area, click on it, it's highlighted. I'm going to push backspace, and then it's going to go away. I'm going to click on this end, hit backspace, and it goes away. And so that's how you can do basic little edits there, and then you can move stuff around on the timeline, left or right, wherever you need it. So this is the starting point. Okay. Sometimes whenever you bring a file in here, your message will pop up that says change sequence settings. And so if you're bringing a video clip in and it asks you to change sequence settings, the answer you want to do is yes, change your sequence settings to match. It didn't ask me to do that, which is good. So that means my screen matches the video quality that I already got, okay, which is what I want. Okay. Um, so for my video, before I want my video to start playing, one of the things I'm going to ask us to add that's going to be required for this is to have a title screen. So to create a title screen, what we're going to do is first I'm going to move this down a little bit so I have some empty space at the beginning here. To create my title screen, I'm going to go up to Graphics and Titles, New Layer, and click Text. And you'll see this pops up right here. Along with this right here also pops up on my timeline right after the part where I selected it, this purple portion right here. So I'm going to move that down to the beginning here. And it looks like it's about 5 seconds long, which is about right. It's about what we want. And so I'm going to click and move this. Notice how when I move things, it kind of locks in place with these various lines right here. And the reason it's doing that is because of this icon right here. It's called the snap. And so it'll lock to like key points. But if I don't want to do that and I want to just like freehand drop it, well, sometimes I want to be more precise and like how I want to move things. Well, then I can just click and turn that off. But right now I like to have it as a guide so I can make sure to match it up exactly right there. Okay. So anyway, with this, with my text here, notice, and the way what's showing up right now is these are layers. So those of you that are familiar with Photoshop, whatever's on the top layer will be seen on top, and whatever's underneath will be seen through underneath the bottom. Right now, there's nothing underneath this, so it's just seeing black, emptiness. If I were to move it over here this way, and then move my timeline selection there, well, then I see the text over the video because the text is on top, the video is underneath. Okay. So I'm just going to have it to where we open up with just a blank text here. And then what I'm going to do is, and you'll notice over here, I have like my selections of my various tools. I can select a color to fill it with. I can align left or right. I can change my font style, that kind of stuff. But for right now, all I'm going to do here is for my title, I'm going to put the name. And if I wanted to get fancy and change my text style, oh, I didn't select the text first. That's important. I can do that. There we go. And then I can make sure we move this. I can move this over to where, actually, you know what? Over here on the side, we can use these buttons to align vertically and horizontally right there. So I just click the button right here that moves it directly to the middle. So there we have Elias's name at the beginning. So when I play here, I push spacebar on my keyboard, you see it's going to play Elias, and then it's going to switch over here to him. I'm going to move this down onto the same line, and then I'm going to put a transition here where we're going to blend. It's going to dissolve into these two pieces right here. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go over here to Effects. I'm going to go to Video Transitions, and then Dissolve. And the one I'm looking for is this Cross Dissolve one. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag and drop that on right there. And what this is going to do is it's going to create this fading effect where it dissolves between the two images. So that's one of your requirements on this assignment, is to have a transition. So that's the example of a transition that we'd be doing, is that dissolve right there. And you'll see there's other transitions that you can use. Iris, page peel, slide, wipes, different things like that are, you can transition between scenes and pieces like that. So I'm just going to use the cross dissolve one right here. It's pretty simple. And so that's one of your requirements on this, is to have a transition. So we've done basically three of the requirements. We have the video, we have the title screen, and we have the transition right now. Now, the next thing we're going to do is probably the most difficult piece of all, and that's dealing with the music. So over here in the bin, we were on effects to grab our effects. We're going to go back to this project edit example. This is our bin where we keep all of our stuff. And at the beginning, before you started watching this video, we should have transferred all of our files on here. If you're not sure, if you're missing something, raise your hand. I can come help you, or one of the AV Practicum kids, if they're in here helping, they can help you. So what I'm going to do now is select my music. And so that's this right here. And I'm going to drag this on and drop it into the audio portion underneath the rest of this right here. So now, I don't like how slow that starts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an edit to my audio right there. I'm going to get rid of this kind of like slow intro. And then I'm going to move this down. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this as an artistic choice for myself. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to push play. So we have our music going on in the background, and then it fades in, and there's Elias. So one of the things we're going to want to do is we're going to want to dip our music to where it's not so loud in the background while Elias is talking. So right now it's playing normal. And then whenever it gets to the transition, this is the point where I'm going to make the music fade down a little bit. And I'm going to do that with what are called keyframes. So I'm going to select the audio that I want to do the change on. And if you hold Alt on your keyboard and then you use the wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in so we can get a closer look at our timeline. So I can make sure I'm getting like right at the beginning of that dissolve. So that's where I want to be on my timeline, like right at the beginning of that dissolve. And so right here is where I'm going to start my music fading down. And then we're going to keep it to like a lower level so it's in the background and we can hear what Elias is saying. So to do that, I need to have my audio clip selected. That green one needs to be selected where the audio is. And then I'm going to go up here to Effect Controls. And what we're going to be changing is the volume, how loud the sound is. And you'll see there's one of your options is level right here. And so right now it's just at the baseline. It's at 0. And so we're going to click this like stopwatch looking icon, and it's going to put in a keyframe. This little marker right here means that this is a point where some change is going to happen. Now I'm going to move down on my timeline here to the point at the end of the transition. And by this point, I want the audio of my music to have dipped down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is now here at this point, I'm going to click this. It says add or remove a keyframe. We're going to click and add a keyframe. So it's put another dot there. So if you look here, you can also see the dots here. There's one there. There's one here. So at this point, while we're on this keyframe, we're going to click here and drag to the left, and that's going to turn the volume down. I don't want to go too much. Let's try that. And you'll see the line kind of dips down a little bit right there. So we're going to give this a shot and see how it sounds.
My name's Elias Vasquez. How long have you been going to school in Crumb? I've been here since kindergarten.
Honestly, it's kind of a mess in the background anyway because we have the band going on back there. But if your video was recorded in a quieter spot, it'll probably make more sense to you. But unfortunately, the one I chose had band practice going on in the background. But I can still hear Elias fine. So I'm going to leave my audio as being right there at that level right here. So that's it with the audio. The only other thing I would need to do is trim it off at the end over here. So I'm going to take my razor blade, click there, and then I'm going to get rid of that extra since the video ends at this point. I don't need to have like a minute of black screen with just music going on. So I'm going to have it end right there where his interview ends. So the other thing we need to do on this is we need to add graphics based on what they're talking about. So they're talking about their hobbies, things that they enjoy. So I'm going to find that part in the video where Elias is talking about his hobbies.
My parents pass and get about. Tell me about the extracurricular activities you are involved in, if any. I am in band.
All right, right here is where he talks about his hobbies that he's interested in. And he says band, and he says theater. So I already got a band image, and I'm going to drag that over and drop it in, and we can double click over here, and we can change the size of it, and we can move it around to where we need to. So now when he says that pops up, and then when he goes to theater, I can have my theater image pop up. There we go. Drag and drop it, and then can double click on it and then drag it to where we want or change the size of it however we need to. So now we can let that play.
I am in band, theater, and AV tech. Tell me about your...
And then stop there, and it's going to transition to talking about hobbies. Now, if I wanted to, I could use that transition, the dissolve, and have those images dissolve in and dissolve out. I'm just going to leave it here for right now.
Tell me about your hobby.
I would just drag and drop those dissolves at the beginning and end of these, and then go. So, all right, now he's going to ask about.
What you do for fun.
We're going
I like to play video games.
Ask about what he likes to do for fun. He talks about video games, watch an anime, and I know that Elias is a fan of One Piece, so I got a One Piece picture here. I'll click on that, blow it up, move it over here, and then
watch anime and also hang out with my dog.
Hang out with his dog. So I got a picture of a dog. Oh man, I don't like that background. Oh well, I'm just going to use this one for right now. I don't like that. I didn't mean to. I thought it was an actual PNG and not one of these ones with the checkerboard background, but we're going to just deal with it for right now. So we'll put that one over here.
Watch anime and also hang out with my dogs at home. Tell me about...
And then once again, at the end of that, we'll just cut those off right there.
What you would like.
And then at this point, we have basically hit everything that we need to hit. We got a transition. You could put transitions on the graphics. You could also put transition at the end over here. So like for instance, if I go to effect and cross dissolve, I can have the end of my video do a little fade out
Okay.
like so, and I can adjust and change how long that dissolve lasts. If I want it to last the longer dissolve, I drag this way, shorter dissolve, I drag that way. And I can have that
Okay.
dissolve at the end. And then if I really wanted to get fancy with it, I could also have my music fade out at the end, my audio fade out at the end. And I do that the same way. I can click here, click on this for my audio, go to effect controls, and then we got volume here. Where is it? Oh, audio level right here. And then I could put the dot there, go to the end, put another keyframe. And then for this one, I think what I'm going to do is just another way you can do it manually just by clicking here. And since I'm going to go to 0, nothing, I'm just going to drag all the way to the bottom there. And so then his speaking audio will go down. And then I could do the same for the music audio. But anyway, that's the whole of the project. So you need to have your title, transition, music where you fade the audio, and then your graphics, at least 2 graphics dealing with whatever some of the stuff that they're talking about. But that is it for the intro video.